Hey guys, as you can see from the snow on the ground, it's still winter. Just want a quick disclaimer for this video. If you have a weak stomach or are upset easily, you may not want to watch this video. This is lessons learned over the winter. One of the things that we spoke about in a previous video was to eliminate or relocate any frogs you may find in your pond before winter, and the reason for that being that your pond is a man-made water feature and it doesn't have the same type of bottom that a natural pond would have with the mud and the sediment. Yes, you do have leaves and some mud and debris, but not to the extent that the frogs require for proper hibernation. Don't be alarmed if in the spring or if you do an occasional check of your pond throughout the winter, like I've done periodically, you may come across some uncomfortable things. So here's my skimmer box, and I wanted to see to make sure that my pump, I had left my pump submerged in the water over the winter. I've done this past, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, and I've never had an issue, but I wanted to make sure that it wasn't frozen solid. And when I removed the lid, unfortunately, I don't know if you can see this, yeah, you can't really make it out, which is probably a good thing, but there's a giant frog that is no longer with us. So just keep that in mind. In the fall, you may want to round up the frogs. I thought I had done that. Round up the frogs and get them out of your pond before you close it. They need a layer of mud to hibernate in. They usually freeze to death and die, and I'll find more as the temperature warms up, I'm sure, as I do my spring cleaning in my pond. But it's unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes. So do your best and move on. One more thing that I've learned this winter is I had originally decided to leave my waterfall running all winter. Well, this was great. It was fine as far as the cold goes. I live in upstate New York, and if you don't know, near Buffalo, we have a reputation for horrible winters and lots of snow. This winter wasn't as bad as previous winters, so what happened was the pond ran just fine. Normally I don't have to worry about my fish. They usually just hang out on the bottom of the pond and move around real slow, but we've had large swings in temperature. As the water warms up, they'll be more active. And with my waterfall running, they had come up to the surface, and I had checked one day after work. I got home and looked in my skimmer box, and one of my large koi was caught in the net. I got him out quickly and put him back in the pond, and he kind of floated to the top, and I was like, oh man, this isn't good. So I kind of resuscitated him a bit by moving him back and forth in the water and kind of wedged him down into the water. He kept floating up, sort of, and eventually he wound up on the bottom again, and he looks like he's doing just fine. So I lucked out there, and so did he. But the point of the story is, if you're going to leave your waterfall running, you might want to check on your skimmer box every so often and not just assume everything's okay because it's winter. So just keep that in mind. The third lesson from winter is, if you're going to leave your waterfall running, it is possible. Now, here, ice can build up around your waterfall on either side, and if that happens, it can divert the water out of the pond, and if that happens, you could run the risk of running your filter box and pump dry, and if that happens, obviously you will burn your pump out. You don't want to do that because they're not cheap to replace. So I just wanted to do this quick video. Not a whole lot of excitement here. We're just waiting for spring. The ice is sort of melting. My aerator's still doing its job. You can take a quick walk around here and see. Yeah, there's the fish. They're just hanging out on the bottom. Moving slow. It's a little warm today. The sun's out. They are patiently waiting for spring, as am I. Alright guys, until next time, Enjoy your backyard water garden.